hope you enjoy.
Welcome back to Swisher Podcast. Another episode. I had to spice up the intro a little bit. Thank you guys so much for listening. Once again, welcome back to all the new listeners, to all the old listeners, to everybody who's been listening. I guess I appreciate it, and just keep on listening, keep on going this audio adventure with me, and till we see where this adventure is going to take us, man. This is Swisher Podcast. If you are new, this podcast is pretty much just about sports news. Not really about sports. It's trending topics. So pop culture, I guess, whatever is going on. We can be talking about from AB to Justin Bieber to Eddie Murphy. Some of these entertainers to your local Instagram star, Funny Mike. I don't know. Just different. Whatever is trending or whatever is going on is probably what you're going to get from this podcast. So if you're looking for, I guess you come to this podcast just to listen. It's pretty much to my opinion, and you like the way I might explain things or say things. You're just listening for my personality and my entertainment. But thank you guys so much for listening. A shout out to all the people that are listening at work. I know you ready to get off, so you just put this on, see what it's about. So I thank you for giving this a chance in the first place, because the artwork isn't that, descriptive. It just says Swisher Podcast. So for you to click on my podcast, it means a lot. So shout out to all the people at work that are listening to the podcast. Make sure you tell some of your coworkers to check it out too. We trying to grow, and grow. Make sure you also tell your coworkers about the YouTube channel. If they can't listen at work, you can watch it when you get home. And that's another option that you have. So make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel at Swisher ENT, because that way you can watch it when you have some free time, and you can run those views up for me. Hit that like button and comment and subscribe. What else is going on? Shout out to all the workers. What I'm saying? Shout out to all the students that are listening. If you in your class right now, you got that 8:30. I remember those days, those 8 a.m.s. You thinking about it's about to be 7:37. You know what I'm saying? You just debating how many skips you got. You checking the syllabus to see how many skips you got on there. They only give you 6. So you don't use about 3-4 of them. So you might want to save them other 2 for a rainy day or bad weather, or when you actually sick. You don't want to niggas be running out all day absences and all day sick days. You only get 6. Niggas use 3 of them in the first 2-3 weeks. They ain't show up to class. But like I said, you want to save them absences. You know what I'm saying? You get 6. At least go to the first couple of weeks. And, but if you listening, you debating about going to that 8:30 a.m. If it ain't raining, you ain't sick, you might want to just go ahead and go to class and save that extra skip day for another day. But shout out to the students. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the students listening. I was looking at the stats of podcasts, and a lot of podcasts are people from like 24, 25 to about 30, 40 something. So that's kind of like the age range of people. Most people in that age aren't in school anymore. They're usually in the work field, or they may or may not have families, or definitely starting to have families. They don't have like older kids, is what I'm saying. But shout out to you guys that are listening, all the students and all the young people and all the young adults. I appreciate it. Without any of you listening, this wouldn't even work. This wouldn't be a podcast. And without any of you watching on YouTube, it wouldn't work out. So I appreciate all of that, man. Man, there's been so much going on in the news, man. It's so sad. Last weekend, Kobe Bryant and his daughter and a few other people, they don't talk about those people as much, were killed in a plane crash in Calabasas, I believe. They was on the way to Thousand Oaks. If you haven't heard this story, you must be on the rock, because Kobe Bryant is everywhere. This is like a world death, almost like a very, very famous person. He was celebrated all over the world once this happened. Now I've been seeing posts on Instagram all week about Kobe Bryant and just celebrating Kobe Bryant. I've seen murals over the world in like Indonesia. He was big in different places and stuff, and it's just very sad to see someone that famous and that legendary just go, like that. And just it's just tragedy, and it's really a tragedy, and it doesn't even seem real. Is the craziest part. Someone like that dying, of someone of that magnitude and their fame and their lifestyle. It just lets you know that obviously everyone's gonna die one day, but it lets you know that no one is safe. We all can go out in horrific ways, so you have to take every day like it's your last, and really enjoy the things that you have, because like I said, these people may be living millions and millions of dollars in these $1 million homes, $1 million cars, but that can be taken away from you just like in a second. So seeing things like that really makes you appreciate the things that you have. But like I said, they were going 130 something miles per hour in the fog. It was really foggy in this valley, and they just hit the side of the mountain. So I don't know necessarily want to say that's better, but for them just to hit it and just to go out and just for it to be instant death, that may be better than the plane catching fire while in the air and then crashing. Then he would have had to watch his daughter be in that and see the fear in her eyes. And that's just something that I couldn't imagine for a father to have to see that. But from what I've heard, it was foggy and it was an instant crash into the side of the mountain. So that's I feel like it's better off. But I'm not sure when the funeral is, but it's probably sometime this week, unless it's like a private event. It might not be televised. But I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying that this might be one of America's biggest deaths. And somebody had the argument that Michael Jackson was the last. Well, we haven't lost anyone this big since Michael Jackson. I think that was the argument, and I was like, that made a lot of sense. The last really, really famous person that died, who was like global, like all over the world famous, that was from here, was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. That was felt all over the world, even though he was definitely out of his prime. And, Kobe, he was just retired, and he was just about to hit the next chapter and do a lot of things and really get to that next stage, because he had just retired a few years ago. But, obviously that was cut short. But Mike was a pretty big musically, because, I believe music artists are all over the world, and athletics, they're over the world, but they're not as well known as a music artist. So for this to happen, it's like a shock to the world, because he was very well known, and I believe he is one of the biggest deaths that we've seen in a very long time. And it just shows you how many people had love, and even the people that didn't know Kobe or may not have watched basketball, even showing love. It's just wonderful to see. And but yeah, that's just some of the things that I had found out, and I was talking to some people about over the last week or so since it happened. And I've seen some crazy conspiracy theories online, but I don't really want to discuss those, because those kind of like freak. People are like adding up the numbers of the day they was born and day they like death, and like it's 08/24. It's like crazy. 8/0/24. So I don't know. They always said Tupac is still alive, and he's somewhere on an island. But I don't know. I hate when people really come up with these conspiracies. You can find a lot of those on YouTube, a lot of things like that on YouTube. So make sure you go on YouTube and follow me let's hit the subscribe button at swisherpodcast, and just keep it going, man. Run those views up. But yeah, man, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. I hope the family, and I hope his other little daughter and his wife, all of them will be okay, and I hope they're dealing with this in the best possible way. They were talking about changing the NBA logo to Kobe Bryant, and personally, I don't think they should do that, because I think people are thinking in a dramatic moment. They're thinking like right now. They're thinking like they're just thinking about little things that they can do in this moment. But it's kind of like a spontaneous type of idea. But I believe that it's It's other ways, and it's other ways to recognize Kobe other than changing the whole logo. Because one thing, if they change the logo and it is Kobe, they're gonna have to. The NBA is gonna have to pay the family so much money for using that logo, unless they sign out the rights to Kobe Bryant. If you notice that the logo is Jerry West, but the NBA never says it's Jerry West. People just have an idea, or they've seen Jerry West in that type of photo. Like, it looks kind of like him, but the NBA never acknowledges Jerry West. And the reason they do that is because they would have to pay the family. So people are saying, make it Kobe, make it Kobe. They're going to have to pay the family for his likeness and this type of image. So I don't know if the NBA can do that without having to spend a substantial amount of money to the Bryant family. And, it's more than just changing the logo. And that's a lot of times I get kind of like frustrated with a lot of people on the internet. They're just quick to go do this, do that. But it's a lot of legalities and different things in terms that agreements that have to be agreed that goes behind changing logos and stuff like that. So, I believe they can honor him in maybe naming a award after him, or maybe naming a All-Star Weekend event or some type of thing like that after Kobe Bryant. Maybe getting a statue of him outside the Staples Center if it's not already one there. It's so many different ways they can honor him in other than having to switch that logo, which has a lot of business things behind it. But that's just something else for the internet to argue about. A lot of times, a lot of these things go on the internet just for people to go back and forth. All of this is just entertainment. Your phone, the CNN news, they're all being backed by some type of billionaire, especially CNN, the news that's persuading people to vote for certain people. And, these politicians, it's all one big, I don't want to say scam, but it's all one big, just like, it's not real. I want to say, like, people look at social media, can read something and then they believe it, and then it can spread. And some of the times it's not even true. Like, somebody said that Rick Fox had also died in that plane crash, but I don't even think he was there, and which he wasn't. But how the internet makes it so things can spread so fast. Something can literally happen right now, and it can be put on the internet, and then it will get spread within the next 2 hours. Almost everybody was going to have it on their phone in the world, because it's almost making it no use for the news channel. Why we have the news channel for anymore? I guess the news channel, it gives you a type of it's real. If it's on the news channel, if it's on CNN, Fox, or whatever, there is some type of truth to it. A lot of the times you can't trust the internet, because like I said, a lot of the stories on the internet can be fake. But I guess having that news outlet that you can really trust is really, the game is really changing, man. It's like a lot of these old news channels, they're gonna have to come up with some type of social media presence, or some type of you're gonna have to buy TMZ or buy some of these companies, because like right now TMZ is the main source for a lot of people who it's on Instagram, it's on the internet to they go to TMZ and find something out quick before they can go to anything else. And that's just shows you how the internet has, once again, is still changing the game. It's not only taking over television, which cable's on, but it's messing with a lot of these businesses and these news companies, these old-fashioned news companies that you only had a certain amount of channels. CNN, ABC, they'll give you the news of what's going on, but now these are obsolete. So you having a phone and being able to get on the internet and see something within a matter of seconds, you can get on the internet and watch a show in a matter of seconds with no commercials. It's all about the accessibility and, the quickness, and how fast can I get it, and how I want as much as possible. You're eating, you're super hungry. I'm hungry. I'm at the table. I don't want to eat. It's like TV. It's like you're at your dinner table, and they're only giving you have portions of food, And not only you have portions of food, but there's small portions of food. And you can only eat one portion at a time. And then you have to wait 2 to 3 minutes, which is a commercial, if I'm comparing this to TV, to eat the next portion. No one wants to have to do that. That's what TV is. That is what cable is. You literally get a plate and they give you portions. You can only eat one thing. You can only eat one thing at a time. You can only eat one thing, and then once you finish that one portion, you have to wait until you can eat the next portion. Who can get full off that? You're gonna get tired of that. Especially when you have the option to have a plate with food on it that's maybe in portions, but it's way more. You're getting a shit ton more of food of portions. And you don't have to eat one portion at a time. You can eat some of this and then go eat some of that. And it's no wait in between eating it. You can you're free to do it. There's no restriction, no rules, no strain. There's nothing. And when you're making content and when you have during this streaming era, people are going to go towards the what can I have the most of and get the most of. They're not going to want to wait in between those portions. They want to have as much of it as possible and not have to wait for any type of commercials or any type of thing to eat or watch their show. So that's just the way that I'm comparing it. Like, you give people the options. You give people the demand, supply and demand. Like I go this podcast, I give you 20 minutes every day. So even if you do miss, you have some content to fall back on. Give people options. Let people have the options to listen today if they don't. If you don't listen today, you can listen tomorrow. And then when you did not listen to that day, you can go back and listen to. And then you can listen to the next one because you know there's another one coming. Give people as much content as possible and let them do with it what they please and let them watch it when they want to. And then you're winning today in today's climate with this marketing and with this whole streaming era. And, like I said, I try to put as many YouTube videos as possible, as many podcasts as possible, because this podcast might not hit and this video might not hit. But if one of my videos hit and one of my podcasts hits, they're all gonna hit, because what's gonna happen. That's called the wine, the champagne glass effect. You got a pyramid tower of champagne glasses. Soon as that top champagne glass fills up, it's gonna spill down into the other champagne glass, and they're gonna fill, and it's gonna speed, and it's just gonna keep going over and over again. And eventually, that one video that pulled in 1 million views has trickled down, and all those other videos that got 900,000, 500,000, blah, 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 and just building up. And now they have so much content to watch, and there's so much content that they can go back to. They're going to just keep watching your stuff, and they're going to keep liking your stuff, and they're going to all of a sudden become a fan. And like I said, I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to have a lot of fans. I'm just trying to put out a podcast, stay consistent, and when I can, have a video up on YouTube. And another thing for you creators, the thing about something like this, this can apply to anything. If you're doing any type of thing that's on social media, or if you're a creator or anything, to give people the more content, the more work you put in, the more hustle, people are able to go back and watch and listen and just do all that, and that's the whole point of YouTube. It's all about the content, somewhat of the quality and the content. How much content do you have? Whoever has the most content is going to win, because that's the content that's going to show up, and that's the content you have the most likely chance of someone seeing your content and then coming back to it and seeing the other content that you have done. But yeah, man, like I said, I love doing this. I love creating. I love seeing where it's going to go. The idea of this being able to make a lot of money one day and to be able to be my the only job is just exciting. I'm not planning on that. I do other things also, but to do this on the side and be able to create videos, because if you've been listening for a while, me, I've always wanted to make videos, but on YouTube, but to be able to do this and be able to be in full control, it just feels pretty cool. Just to create a podcast and have people actually listen is something that a lot of people take for granted. If it's only I got a good amount of people listening, but even if you only had 10 to 15 people listening to your whatever that you do, or people watching, just know that those people it's going to grow. It has no choice, especially with the internet. No matter what you do, people are on the internet. Billions of people on the internet every day, billions of people on YouTube every day. So, you do the right things and you just keep your hustle and keep going. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I've watched many YouTubers. I watched many people do anything, and not just YouTube, but if that's working towards something. And I've seen that you work hard and hard work pays off. But like I said, thank you for listening. Make sure you listen to the podcast tomorrow because we're coming all week. But thank you so much. This is Swisher Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and all the streaming, and do all that good stuff. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at SwisherNT. Once again, thank you for listening, and I'm out.